I felt like I was making a lot of money. And so I was spending a lot of money. I was buying the good stuff, and I was, intentionally investing it back into my business. I think something that I should have done earlier is budgeting. Like I've recently jumped onto like the Dave Ramsey bandwagon like a year or so ago. So my whole thing about budgeting and how things could be better by not spending every time you make, that's changed me a lot lately.
Choosing the things that matter the most and then basically outsourcing or cutting the things that matter less. I've got a family with 3 kids, and so family is really high for me. So I want to spend time doing that, which means that I can't be doing some of the other stuff that I'd like to be doing, but that I don't have time for.
Not paying for advertising, I would have done way earlier. You get hounded by like The Knot and like all these different magazines. I realized really quickly that if I had just taken that money and taken some coordinators out to lunch or use that to like print a book for a hotel, that money would have gone so much further, because a magazine or an advertisement is like a one-time thing. But if you use that money in schmooze or whatever you want to call it, like a coordinator, that's like they're going to send you referrals for years if they like working with you.
Social media for me is just a funnel. That's where people's attention is. So I want to be there. I want to be present, but I want to take them from there and bring them to the controlled environment where they go through an experience, right? The website is your digital handshake, and it's experience that you kind of curate where they start and then where they go. And so that's where I want to direct them to. Social media is important, but I wouldn't spend all my eggs in that basket, because it's their algorithms. It's their content. Once you put your stuff on there, it's on their site. They have the option to change all the algorithms later on too. So keeping it in a controlled environment within the experience that you provide for your customers is really, really important.
A lot of people will go to my booth at an event, and they will already have their phones in hand. They'll have gone through my website, favorited all their ones they want printed, and it's super straightforward for them, super easy to do. Like I do 10,000 images a weekend, or sometimes 20 or 30,000. And that's not something that you can just post on Facebook and expect somebody to browse through all those and then find their photos and that whole thing.
And if you're new at the business, it's good to specialize and really hone your skills at whatever you want, event photography or portrait or whatever. But once you kind of get good at that, I like kind of branching out and trying something different. I'm not the norm. I'm definitely an anomaly in this business, in that I teach wildlife photography, I do the Olympics, I do personal events, I do portraits, I do landscapes.
I focus in. I'm a very clear elevator pitch. Hey, I'm Evan Chung. I'm a Bay Area wedding photographer. That's it. That's what I focus on. Yes, I do all the other portrait work that you can do, right? But I'm a wedding photographer because that's what I want to be known for. That's where my bread and butter is. That's more the income for me as a business person also is. So that's what I want to market myself as.
I think the best experience I had was just working for another working photographer out of school. I basically ran this entire photo studio in West Hollywood. And the great part about it was that I was, using someone else's money to learn some very valuable mistakes that I then, when I started my business, was like, not gonna do that, not gonna do this, not gonna do that. And so I was able to kind of see what worked and didn't work.
I do believe that it is as important, if not more important, to understand business and marketing than photography. You have to think as a business person all the time, and your attitude and your responsiveness and the way that you handle the client and the way you are when you're shooting is as important as the photos you're taking. That's not to say that you could take something out of focus or crappy or bad lighting or bad backgrounds and all. You have to understand photography. But to be successful in this business, you've got to understand the business side and you have to work at it.